कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन व्रजन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 ओम ज्ञातविरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivisha Karnitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanosute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna and welcome all of you to this third session of our course, 7 days course. Yesterday we learned about the science of soul. When we learned about the science of soul, first we discussed about the 5 kinds of the proof of existence of soul. Because these days people don't even believe that there is something beyond this body, which is there in the body and is making all the bodily functions possible. So all the bodily functions are possible because of the presence of soul within the body. The soul is actually non-material substance. This body is actually made up of matter and the soul is non-material. It is totally spiritual. So the existence of the soul has to be proved. We discussed the 5 proofs of the existence of soul. The first proof of the existence of soul is by common sense. Anybody with common sense can understand that there is something called soul. How? When somebody dies, we say, such and such a person, he died. Instead of died, we say, he such and such a person passed away. Now, what is the meaning of passed away? Passed away means he is not here, he is somewhere else. He has passed out of this body. He has passed out of the college. What does it mean he has passed out of the college? That he is not in this college, he is some other college. And the second proof of the existence of soul is the intuitive understanding or by logic. We say, this is my hand. It means there is a distinct difference between me and my hand. This hand belongs to me. In the same way I say, this is my head. It means there is a difference between me and my head. I am not this head. In the same way, when I say this is my body, it means this body belongs to me. I am not the body. There is a distinct difference between me and my body. As much as there is a distinct difference between me and my pen or my hand. I am not the hand. I am not the body. In the same way, we should understand the soul is distinct from the body. This is the second proof of existence of soul. The third proof of existence of soul, yesterday we discussed, is the presence of consciousness. When you are sitting on somebody's lap, that person feels the pain. But you are sitting on the chair, it doesn't feel the pain. Why? Because the chair doesn't have consciousness. When you kick a football, the football doesn't feel the pain. When you kick your friend, the friend feels the pain. Why? What is there in your friend? What is not there in the football, which is making your friend experience the pain and the football is not experiencing the pain? What is the difference? The difference is the presence of consciousness. And the consciousness is a symptom of soul. Like bulb is at one place and it is emitting a light which is spreading everywhere. In the same way, the soul is in the region of the heart and it is spreading a light called consciousness throughout the body. That is why wherever the consciousness is flowing through the blood, there is pain, experience of pain. And wherever there is blood is not flowing, like you have the hairs and the nails, there is no consciousness. That is why even if you cut the nails, even if you cut the hair, you don't feel the pain. So consciousness is a proof of existence of soul. This is the third proof of existence of soul. That is consciousness. The fourth proof of existence of soul is out-of-body experiences and near-death experiences. There are two kinds of phenomena which the modern scientists and the doctors, they are not able to understand what's happening. Because there are some medical journals, which are recorded journals, which talks about a person who was undergoing an operation. He went outside the body and he went outside the body and he was able to perceive what's happening onto his body from a point distinct from his body. That shows who went out of the body. It is the soul. The fourth proof of existence of soul. Now, what is the fifth proof of existence of soul? Past life memories. In our life, we always have some dreams. And the dreams, we sometimes see some people whom we have never met in this life. In the dreams, we go to a certain place where we have never been in this life. What does it show? It shows that we are having some previous life impressions. Sometimes some children in the childhood, they remember their previous life. So if they are remembering their previous life, means there was a previous life. What is the thing which connects the previous life to this life? It is the soul. In this way, yesterday we discussed 5 kinds of the proof of existence of soul. And then we discussed an interesting point. That is, what is this body consisting of? We discussed there are 10 things in the body. These 10 things are the soul and the super soul, which is called the spiritual body. And beyond this spiritual, or apart from the spiritual body, there is a material body, which is made up of 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So these 8 elements put together becomes the material body. And this material body is again divided into 2 parts. That is the subtle body and the gross body. The gross body is made up of 5 elements. That is earth, water, fire, air, ether. And the subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Now, yesterday we compared our body set up to a computer. This gross body, which is made up of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, is compared to the hardware of the computer. And there are 3 things which are mind, intelligence, and false ego. These 3 things constitute the subtle body, and the subtle body is compared to the software of the computer. Beyond this hardware, beyond this gross body and the soft body or the subtle body, there is one more called the soul. The soul is distinct from the mind. The mind is distinct from the brain. Brain is gross body. The mind is the subtle body. But mind, though it is subtle, but it is distinct, it is material. So beyond the mind there is soul, and beyond the soul there is super soul. In this way, yesterday we understood the hardware is compared to the gross body, the software is compared to the subtle body, the consciousness is the current, and the plug point is the soul, and the huge powerhouse where the electricity is generated is the super soul. Now what happens at the time of death is the soul leaves the gross body and goes to another body. But when it goes to another body, it doesn't go alone. It goes along with the subtle body. The subtle body encages the soul and takes the soul from one gross body to another gross body. In this way, what is lying down when somebody dies is only the gross body. The subtle body is carried forward from one body to another body. That is why whatever we have done in the previous lifetimes, it is all carried forward in the form of sanskars, in the form of impressions. That is why we should be very careful about everything what we see, everything what we hear. everything what we feel, everything what we smell, everything has an impression in the mind, and that mind, the sanskars are formed, and that is carried forward to the next life. In this way, there is a gross body, the subtle body, the soul, and the super soul arranges the entire transfer. That's how these 10 things constitute the body. Yesterday we also discussed about the nature of the soul. The first nature of the soul is, it is Sat. Sat means eternal. The soul has neither birth nor death. We celebrate our birthdays. But actually it is not our birthday. It is the birthday of the body. So if the body is born, who dies? The body dies. We never die. People are very much afraid, oh, I'm going to die. But actually you are not going to die. Your body dies. What to speak of body dying? Body is always dead. Just because of the presence of soul in the body, the soul makes the body look as if it is alive. Actually, the soul is always living and the body is always dead. Just because of the presence of the soul, we say the body is alive. Body is actually always dead. Matter is dead. But because of the presence of soul, the body seems to be alive. So, it is the soul which is unborn, and it is the body which is born, and the body dies. So, the second nature of the soul is, it is conscious. That means it is chit. Chit means consciousness, awareness. I am aware of somebody's presence. Like somebody comes to your house, you become aware of somebody's presence. Now the person comes and sits in the chair, but the chair doesn't have awareness because it doesn't have the consciousness. So the second quality of the soul is, it is conscious, Sat Chit. And the third quality of the soul is that it is Anandamaya, it is Ananda, it is blissful. And which you are all looking for. Everybody is searching for Ananda, but they don't know where the Ananda is there. They are thinking that the Ananda or happiness is in matter. No. No amount of matter can satisfy the soul. It is incompatible. That is why we find those who are stinkingly rich, they have everything at their disposal, but they are still frustrated in their life. Why? It is because soul is spiritual and matter cannot satisfy the soul. I am the soul and I am spiritual, and it is no amount of material things can satisfy the soul. As much as you have a fish which is out of water, and the fish is struggling, and you take the fish to an air-conditioned room, do you think the fish will be happy? No. You show a nice wonderful cartoon movie to a fish, fish will be happy? No. If you give a nice wonderful juice to drink for the fish, will it be happy? No. The fish will never be happy until unless it goes back to the water. In the same way, we as spiritual beings, we cannot be happy in this material world at all. It is a history, the history has proven this point, that they are big kings, everything was there at their disposal, but they are frustrated. They are very rich people, famous people, they committed suicide out of frustration. What is the reason? The reason is, no amount of matter can satisfy the soul. The soul can be satisfied only when it goes back home, back to God. Even though you may give the best facility for the fish requires water. In the same way, what the soul requires is not a nice, comfortable life. The soul requires Krishna consciousness. The soul requires spiritual life. The soul has to go back home, back to God, to the spiritual world. As much as the fish cannot be happy till it goes back to the water, in the same way, we, the spirit soul, cannot be happy till we go back home to the spiritual world. Only spiritual world can make the soul happy. Only spiritual life can make the soul happy. Now, we concluded yesterday's talk with a story. The story is that we are thinking about so many problems. Swamiji, I got this problem, I got that problem. Especially now people are worried about the problem of the disease called corona. And some people are more worried about their business. And some people are worried about their jobs. They are listing out innumerable problems. But actually all these problems are not the problems at all. The real problem in life for us is that I am not taken a spiritual life seriously. I have not studied the Bhagwadgita. That is the problem. Now I'm 40 already. I'm 50. I'm 55. I'm 60. But still, I don't know a single verse of Bhagwadgita. That is the problem. Now, that one child was crying. He's crying and crying and crying. Mother said, "Oh, why are you crying?" He says, "Oh, I lost my cricket match with my friend." Then the mother slaps him and tells, "Tomorrow exams are there. Have you prepared for it?" No, he becomes, "No, I am not prepared." So the child is supposed to be worried about the examination, not about what he lost in the cricket match with his friend. In the same way, we are worried about so many things, forgetting about the real thing to be worried about. What is the real thing to be worried about? That is self-realization. Time is passing by every day and self-realization has not happened to me. So I need to be desperate to gain that self-realization. So for that purpose, one has to be worried about. All other problems are not the real problems. The real problem is the time is going and I have not attained self-realization. I have not taken up spiritual life. That is the problem. That is the real problem in life. Now I told a story, if you remember. The story is about one person who was desperate to get a Mercedes car. So what happened? He got a Mercedes car. After 15 years of hard work, he got the car. He purchased the car. He was so happy and driving the car back home. All of a sudden, a truck came in front and then there was an accident. Then what happened to this person? He became so disturbed. And he started shouting at the truck driver, "It is because of you that my car is spoiled. I am taken to the police station." He started abusing him. Then the truck driver told, "My dear sir, I will take you to the hospital. Please come. My truck is okay. I can drive you to the hospital. It's emergency. Please come." "Why I should go to the hospital?" But then the truck person said, "You just look at your hand." He saw the forearm was completely broken and this whole piece had fallen somewhere. It has been blown out. Then he became so angry and started abusing the truck driver. "I'm going to kill you. Because of you, I lost my watch also." Just see, he's worried about the car. He's worried about the lost watch. But actually he's supposed to be worried about the blood oozing out. And instead of going to the police station, you're supposed to go to the hospital. But he's thinking of going to the police station. And that is what is happening in our life. We are worried about so many things. Asochyanasochastam pragyavadamsya bhajase gatasu gatasu sanana sochanti pandita. That is the first problem which Krishna diagnoses in Arjuna. He says, "My dear Arjuna, asochyanasochastam pragyavadamsya bhajase." Oh, you are thinking about those things which are not fit to be thought about. And you are worried about those things which are not to be worried about. And you are not worrying about those things which are supposed to be worried about. Actually, the time is going. Now becoming older and older. Nobody grows younger and younger. On the birthday, people say, "How old are you?" Nobody says how young you are. That means you are getting old and old. So, it is time for us to realize that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. That is the real problem, that we have not got self-realization. We are not taken up spiritual life. That is the real problem. All other problems are insignificant. And all the problems in the world has its solution in one line. That is, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. This line has an answer to all the problems in our life. Now, yesterday we discussed all these points, and today we are going to talk about the first subject matter of Bhagavad Gita, that is God. The first point about God. As soon as you hear about God, you have two concepts in life. Two kinds of people who say. Some kind of people say God exists, and sometimes some people say God doesn't exist. So those who say God exists, they are called astikas. Asti. God is there. Nastika, na asti. Those who say na asti, God is not there. Now, based on these two concepts, God is there and God is not there, The entire society is divided. Some people say God is there, some people say God is not there. But interestingly, this Nastika Samaj, Astika Samaj, especially in South India, you have one Samajam. Samaj means a society. So, this society, the atheistic society and the theistic society, Nastika Samaj, Astika Samaj. And they are really well established societies with the president, secretary, treasurer, etc. So it so happened that let us see what's happening in the Nastik Samaj. One day, one of my father's friend, he had come to our house. I was just in 8th standard at that time. He came and told my father that, please, I'm inviting you to a satsang program. What is a satsang program? The satsang program of Nastika Samaj means the society which says there is no God, they also have satsang. My father was obliged, so he came. I also went along with my father to the program. In the hall, there were around 800 to 1,000 people. And there he gave 1 hour lecture on how God doesn't exist. And he all started saying that the problem in this society, all the problems in society, it is because of religion. All the wars happen because of religion. No religion, no war, no problem. For religion not to exist, there should be no God. So no God, no religion. No religion, no problem. So in this way, he established that there is no God and there should not be God at all. So everybody appreciated him to such an extent that he was so happy. At the last, my father was introduced to the person. Then my father told him, "Oh, you gave a wonderful lecture. Actually, after hearing to your class, I am thinking of shifting my membership from Astika Samaj to Nastik Samaj." Astik Samaj means I belong to Astik Samaj. My father told, I'm a member of that. Now I want to give the membership Astika Samaj and I want to join the atheistic society, the Nastik Samaj. Oh, the president of the Nastik Samaj told, oh, people say that I spoke so nicely, but actually everything is in the hands of God. Just see. After 1 hour of lecture on how God doesn't exist, he says everything in the hands of God, Daivecha. So this is what is happening in Nastik Samaj. And in the Nastika Samajam, those people who say there is no God, what is happening? Generally during the time of Makara Shankranti, what happens is they have a big festival. They do Yajna, Anadan. And after the whole Anadan, everything got over. They have their own food around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All these so-called intelligentsia of the town have made their own groups. Some group they're talking about politics, some talking about stock, some talking about cricket, some talking about other different things. Nobody is talking about God, and everything is happening in the temple. And they say, Vyastika, God exists, let him exist as he is. They're not interested in knowing about God and talking about God. And they say God exists. So what is the use of just saying God exists and do whatever you want? Actually, if you say God exists, then you should actually accept what he says. Now there is a very famous saying, you say, Hum Bhagwan ko mante hai. What is the meaning of mante hai? Mante doesn't mean that he exists. Whether you accept him or don't accept him, whether you accept his existence or don't accept existence, it doesn't matter to God. When you say Bhagavan ko mante hai, it means you are supposed to accept the teachings of God. Like one boy comes and says, मैं पिताजी को मानता हूँ. What does it mean? पिताजी को मानता हूँ means पिताजी का आज्ञा को मानता हूँ. To accept the instructions of the father, to just accept God, my father exists, that is foolishness. Like a small boy comes and tells mother, my dear mother, I accept my father exists. Mother slaps him. What do you mean to say? Actually, if you really have to say, you should say, I accept my father's orders. I accept my father's instruction. In the same way, when somebody says, I believe in God, it means what? I believe in his existence. Okay, if he exists or doesn't exist, what does it matter to you? If you really believe in God, you have to accept His instruction. That means the word belief is a very dubious term. I believe there's a cat behind the wall. What does it mean? The cat may be there, may not be there. But I believe it's there. So I believe in God has no value. In God, we trust. Some people say trust. That is important. That trust means what? He is there and I am accepting what He's saying. I am accepting instructions. Like somebody, I gave Bhagwadgita to somebody. He said, Bhagwan ko mante hai. What? Mante to glow. Manna means what? You have to accept the instructions of God. Without accepting the instructions of God, just saying God exists has no value. Now going further, regarding this God, when is this atheism started? The history of atheism, it goes to few hundred years back. Actually, atheism has a history right from the dawn of creation. When the Lord created this world, at the time He created Brahma. Along with Brahma, two demons appeared, Madhu and Kaitava. These two demons, they prayed to the Lord. Oh Lord, they did tapasya. The Lord appeared. He said, what do you want? They were so envious that they want to kill God. For that they prayed to God. God appeared. Krishna appeared. What do you want? They told, we want to fight with you, number one. Number two, we want to get the strength from you so that we can fight with you. Number three, you cannot kill us wherever there is earth, water, fire, air, ether. My intelligence and false ego. Wherever matter is there, you cannot kill us. These three boons were asked by Madhu and Kaitava. And these three becomes the foundation of the modern science. Number one is we want to kill God. That means we want to prove God is not there. Everything can be defined by mechanics. Everything can be defined by equations. Why we need to accept God? To such an extent, one scientist told, it is the duty of science to prove that God doesn't exist. And we don't require any God. Everything is formulated according to the nature's laws. And there is no lawmaker. It is just existing. And there is the second principle of modern science is that the scientists, they draw all the intelligence given by God to prove God doesn't exist. Like this Madhu and Kaitapa, they want to receive the strength from God to kill God. Now the third is Madhu and Kaitapa, they told, oh God, you cannot kill us wherever earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. These three things are there. The 8 things are there. That means these 8 material things are there. Wherever these things are there, you cannot kill us. So Madhu and Kaitava, they were so convinced there is nothing in this world other than matter. There is nothing called spiritual. There is nothing called spirit. So the modern science, they say there is nothing in this world other than matter. If you see the science textbook, it is clearly written, whatever you find in this world is nothing but matter. Madhu and Kaitava also had this belief. The modern science also has this belief. That means these modern scientists are actually demons. Because they don't accept there is something beyond matter. It is very simple that his body is functioning. At the time of death, the soul leaves. Accept it. No. It is just the body dies. Why it dies? What happens at the time of death? No answer. The entire medical fraternity has no answer to what and to describe what is death, because they don't accept what is life. They don't accept something is there which is actually making us live. There is something beyond the body, beyond matter. They don't have any idea about it. Now, it starts from the dawn of creation. Devils not accepting that there is something spiritual. So atheism started right from the dawn of creation, and of course you had Ravana. Vibhishana told his own brother. Ravana's own wife, Mandodari, told, the person who is standing in front of you to fight with you is actually Supreme Lord. Give up Sita. No, he did not accept Ram as God. That is why Ravana is a demon. Now, Ravana was atheist. Hiranyakashipu was atheist. In front of them, the modern atheists are nobody, a small atheist. Of course, atheism became very famous and became very rampant because of one scientist called Newton. This is how the modern day atheists take the help of science to prove that God doesn't exist. Now we'll try to take the same science and try to prove that God exists. Now what happened? Let us go to the recent history of atheism. About few hundred years back, there was one person called Newton. He was sitting under an apple tree. He was actually bunking his classes. And then an apple fell down. Then he started thinking, why the apple fell down? Went on contemplating. Then he invented this theory of classical mechanics, gravitation theory and all. That is how the entire thing started. When you will see science, you remember apple because the science started from the apple. Now when Newton invented this theory, at the time there were many people in the West who were very good Christians. They used to go to the church every Sunday, attend the Mass, and they too used to pray to God, oh God, give my daily bread, like that. But what happened at that time? There are some people who had developed some rational thinking. Because of the rational thinking, what happened? Because of rational thinking, they started asking questions to the clergy, the priest in the church, the father. They said, oh, don't ask all these questions. Bible says Monday this happened, Tuesday this happened, this was created, like that. They were not able to give logical answers to the rational thinking, rational thought. But at the same time, the science started progressing and the science started giving a rational and a logical answers to the intelligent questions coming to the mind of the people. Whereas the religion or those who were professing religion, they were not able to answer certain questions of the natural phenomena of this world. And on the other hand, the science was able to answer many questions which are very regarding the natural phenomena of this world. And not only that, the science gave a lot of comfort too. A lot of comforts and advancement was happening. And now religion was not able to explain certain things. So what happened? There was a shift of faith from religion to science. People start thinking, if you are sentimental and emotional, you go to religion. If you're really intelligent, if you want to know the truth, go to science. In this way, there was a shift of faith from religion to science because in the Western countries, the clergy, they were not able to explain certain scientific and natural phenomena like seasons, day and night, and all the different scientific things which are happening in this world. There was no explanation. But people at that time, they were not knowing on the eastern side of the world, that is this land, India, there are scriptures called Vedas, which talks about science. More advanced science than anybody else can even think of. The modern scientists, they'll go crazy when they see the physics, or the chemistry, or the mathematics which is present in the Vedic literatures. They were not knowing that there's something called Veda. When they came to know, they became so envious, they misinterpreted the Veda and proved that these people in India, they're actually aborigines, they don't know culture, we came and taught them culture. So this is how the British misinterpreted the entire Vedic literatures. So, the recent past, the atheism took support of science. Now we'll take the same science and prove that how God exists. Number one, the first proof of existence of God is God exists because first proof is that in this world everything is controlled. You don't find a single thing which is not controlled in this world. The sun rises in the east means it rises in the east only. It doesn't rise in the west. Rather, wherever the sun rises, it becomes the east. Every day, in morning it rises. and you find the ocean, the water comes at a particular level and goes back, don't you think somebody is controlling it? If there is a control in this world, there is a controller. Every control system implies a controller behind it. You may say, oh, I'm not able to see it. It is a remote control. So there is one person who is controlling every aspect of this world. He may be having a remote control in his hand, but still there is a control. If there is a controlled mechanism, it implies there is a controller behind the controlled mechanism. Number one. Number two, the second proof of existence of God is that in this world everything is designed. There is no thing which has just abruptly comes. There is a design. Rose flower. Do you think it comes automatically? Now, when somebody shows you a painting, a beautiful painting of rose, you say, who made it? And if somebody shows you a nice wonderful flower, a plastic flower of rose, you say it's so beautiful, looking so natural. Who made it? Who manufactured it? But when somebody gives you a real rose, even in your dreams you don't think that somebody must have made it. That is the foolishness. When a painting, a rose painting requires somebody to paint it, don't you think the real one doesn't require a painter behind it? Somebody had to make the rose. Somebody must have designed it. Just imagine. There is a wonderful arrangement in this world, and this principle is called enormous expansion of water. I don't know whether you have heard about this thing or not. Especially in science, those who have studied science, they must have heard about this phenomena called enormous expansion of water. It is so interesting. You think every element in its solid state is heavier than the liquid state, except water. Water in its solid state, that is ice, is lighter than water. Why is it so? The water has the highest density at 4 degrees centigrade. Because when the temperatures in the Arctic and Antarctic zone, it goes down and down and down, what happens? When it comes to 0 degrees centigrade, it becomes ice. If ice would have been heavy than water, what would have ice would have gone down. And the top part of the water will be exposed to cold again become ice, and it would gone down. And the whole ocean would become ice, and all the fishes would die. So what a design. The highest density is being made of water is at 4 degrees. As soon as the water reaches 4 degrees, what happens? The 4 degree water goes down, and what happens? The colder water comes up. 2 degree water, 3 degree water comes up. Then what happens? It becomes 0 degrees and becomes ice. So ice is lighter than the 4 degree water. So ice floats on water. And the whole ocean top is ice, bottom there will be water, fishes can peacefully stay there. And most interestingly, ice is a bad conductor of heat. So the 4 degree temperature water below in the ocean, that is 4 degrees and is very comfortable for the fishes to survive. Just see, what a nice design. Don't you think there is a designer required for it? Every design implies there is a designer. Every control mechanism implies there is a control behind it. Not only that, just see. Such an enormous energy present in this world. One sun. How many billions of years it is been burning. But still it is not exhausting. Let us stop all the factories, make only one factory. And then let us challenge. You make one sun and give, impossible. Tremendous energy. This kind of energy, where is it coming from? There must be somebody who is a source of that energy. Now, the fourth proof of existence of God is that everything in this world is being created. Nothing comes out of a bang, blast. By a blast, destruction happens. But I don't know how these foolish scientists, they conclude that this entire world came out of a big blast, Big Bang Theory. They say that millions and billions and trillions and billions of years back. What is this? Just say simply that I don't know. Just say I don't know. Why say that millions and billions and trillions of years back? That means you don't know when it happened. They say there was a situation called singularity. And the singularity is a mathematically impossible situation. Why it is mathematically impossible situation? Because that's where the singularity is a situation where infinite temperature and there is infinite mass and zero volume. How can you have infinite mass and zero volume and infinite temperature? And they say it cannot be seen, that is it's black hole. And all of a sudden what happened is there's a big bang, it bursted. And all the particles which were so compressed, they started moving away from each other. They were moving at an increasingly exponential velocity. So all these kind of word jugglery they use just to mesmerize people, to speak something false. Illogically also, it is illogical to think that the construction happens by a blast. By a blast, destruction happens. No construction happens. Like in this world, somebody may say that you ask a builder, how did you build these buildings? He says, oh, I was going in the helicopter and I saw a big hill here and I dropped few bombs. When I dropped few bombs, there's a big blast and the buildings came up. No, the buildings don't come just like that. It requires a design. Every design requires a designer. Every control mechanism requires a controller. And every tremendous energy. We have so much of energies in this world. Not only that, we find in this world that everything is organized. Is so nicely organized. There is in the nature, every urge has a fulfillment in nature. You feel thirsty, there is water. You feel hungry, there is food. So that means there is somebody who has organized it for you. Just see, as soon as the baby is born, the mother starts giving milk. It is not, the milk doesn't come before. Who has arranged this thing? Just see, what a beautiful arrangement it is. You see the body, what an arrangement. You have a pump which is called the heart. And it goes on for 60, 70, 80 years non-stop. Has anybody made one pump, manufactured one pump which goes on for so many years? So all these things prove that there is somebody behind it. Like you come into your office, everything is set up. There's a chair, there's a table, a pen, everything is kept on its place. What does it mean? Somebody has come before you, has set up everything. So the moment the baby is born, before that, milk is arranged. Somebody has arranged it. In this world, for every urge, there is a fulfillment. That somebody has arranged it. That shows that there is God. Who is an organizer? Who is a creator? Who is a designer? And who is a source of tremendous energy? And who is controller? Because every control implies there is a controller behind it. Every design implies there is a designer. Every organization implies there is an organizer. So this is God. These are 5 proof of existence of God. Now somebody may say, oh, what about scientists? I'll tell you about Newton. Newton was a very religious person. But he had a friend who was atheist. So one day he called his atheist friend to his laboratory. Then when he saw, he brought him to the laboratory, and Newton, he started turning one wheel. And his friend could see a nice arrangement of the solar system with the sun in the middle and all the planets going around. And Newton's friend asked, oh, Newton, who made this? Then Newton told, actually I was sleeping in my bedroom. And all of a sudden in the midnight I heard a big blast. And I came and saw this prototype model of the universe. It came out by a big blast. Hey, how can it happen? Newton's friend told him, how can it happen? Somebody must have made it. No, it came a big blast. No, it cannot come. Such a beautiful thing, what a mechanism it is. Then Newton told, my dear friend, you're not able to believe that this model of the universe can come by a blast. How can you say that the original universe can come by a blast or chance? Nothing happens in this world by chance. Everything is designed. So there is a designer behind it, there is a controller behind it. So this proves that God exists. Now somebody may say, okay, I accept God is there, but why is he not been seen? Why is he not seen? Why I cannot see God? Now yes, we can see God. How you can see? There is a nice example given in the Bhagwadgita. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita that Matta parataram nanyat kinchit dhananjaya mai sarvidam protam sutre manigananiva. Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, that mai sarvidam protam sutre manigananiva. This whole world is like the nice wonderful pearls in the pearl necklace. Like you take a pearl necklace and all the pearls are nicely arranged. So the wonderful arrangement of the pearls is because there is a thread which is underlying them. There is a thread which is flowing through them. It is all resting on the thread. In the same way, this whole world is resting on God. As much as the pearls are resting on the thread. Interestingly, in the pearl necklace, you can see the pearls but not the thread. So how do you prove that there is a thread behind the pearls? The very nice, wonderful arrangement of the pearls, that itself is a proof of existence of a thread behind it which is unseen. The unseen thread can be seen by the nice arrangement of the pearls. In the same way, the unseen God can be seen by the seen universe. The wise, wonderful arrangement of the universe itself is the presence of proof of existence of God. So, unseen God can be seen by the seen world. The very world, this world, nice arrangement, you have the stars, the moon, the sun, all these things are there. Air, the atmosphere, the rivers. Just see this land, India. Every house is there. Every house has over a tank. Whole country, the Himalayas, over a tank. And we're getting the water from there. Just see this arrangement of the world itself shows that there is somebody behind it. Somebody is controlling it. This is how God exists. Now some people say, okay, I accept God exists. If God exists, there should be only one God. If there is only one God, there should be one religion. Why there are so many religions in this world? Very interesting topic. In spite of God existing, there should be only one God. Then why there are so many religions who are talking about different gods? Actually, if you see, all the religions of this world, they are talking about one God only. Very interesting, you see, all the religions, they say there is only one God. The Christianity says there is one God. The Bible says one God. Quran says there is only one God. The Bhagwadgita says there is only one God. So now, you take any other scriptures, any other religion, all religions say there is only one God. Then now, if there is only one God, why there are different religions? It is because of difference in the audience. Depending on the level of their spiritual progress, depending on the level of their detachment from sense enjoyment, there are different religious principles which are taught. But the goal of all the religious principles are one. What are the common things? All the scriptures agree there is one God. All the religions agree that we should approach a guru. All the religions agree that we need to chant his name. All religions agree we need to attain love of God, that is the goal of life. But there are differences. Why? Because of the different audience. Actually, when Jesus was talking, he was preaching to whom? Basically shepherds. When Muhammad was preaching to the people, he preached to whom? Who were so low in their morals. There was no moral values at all. They were totally animalistic. To such people, he was giving some moral values. Like the Quran says, you should not have a relationship with your own sister. Lust relation with your sister or mother. Why is he speaking about it? Because at that time, people whom he was talking to, they were like that. They were like animals. They had no distinction between wife or mother or sister. They are literally like animals. So to at least bring them to the human platform, he spoke some religious principles. He said, okay, you just cannot live peacefully with one wife. Don't just spoil every woman. You at least get married. One and more allowed. Just allowed. Okay, you cannot just live without eating meat. Okay, you eat, but after sacrifice. Except Friday, you can eat. So there is some concession given in sense enjoyment. Because of the audience. The sages of Naimisharanya, they are thinking of the benefit of the entire world. Now here, the class of audience are those who are thinking of the benefit of the entire world. That is why Sanatan Dharma is like an Oxford dictionary. And all the religions, they talk about one God only. It is just that they are addressing for a particular time, place and circumstance. For a particular place, for a particular audience only. Jesus told that I came to deliver the people of Israel. Because that means it is meant for that particular time, place and circumstance, not universal. The universal religion is only one. That is Sanatan Dharma. Because it gives a complete and a scientific understanding of what is God, what is soul, what is this world. Everything is given. It is meant for everyone, in every place, in every circumstance. That is called Sanatana Dharma. So the word Hindu is not found anywhere in the Bhagwadgita nor the Vedas. The Hindu was a word coined by the Islamic people, and then they started speaking about the people on the other side of Sindhu river as Hindu. It is a geographical thing. Hindu word is a geographical demarcation. Actually, the religion what we follow is not Hindu religion. It is actually Sanatan Dharma, which is now prevalent as Hindu. But actually, the name of the religion is Sanatan Dharma. Now, going further, we have another question. Okay, accepted that there is God and there is only one God. I want to know what I have got to do with God. In the entire 7 days of our course, the most important point of the course, the most important session is this: to know that why and what I have got to do with God. Why I have to accept God in my life. What is the reason? Let him be peaceful wherever he is. I am peaceful, I am working hard, I got my house, family, children. I have some problems are there, let it be no problem. But why I have to accept God in my life? What is the reason? Let me be peaceful. Why are you calling me to course and then hammering me every day for an hour or so? Yes, this is a very interesting question. Everybody should know that we have to accept God for our life, in our life for this reason. There's one reason. One and only one reason for which we need to accept God in our life. Some people say that, okay, we have to accept God in our life out of fear. God is, if you don't worship God, you will go to hell. Something like that. No. You don't have to accept God out of fear. Because just because God is great, let him be great. Let him do whatever he wants. I got my life to live. So you don't have to accept God just because he's great. And if you don't accept him, he's going to do something harm to you. No. So some people say, no, I accept God out of expectation. Beyond fear, there is a level where people accept God. Oh, God, give my daily bread. If you're a Gujarati, you say, oh God, give me daily doklas. If you're a South Indian, you say, oh God, give me daily idlis. He has no other work. Actually, going to God with some expectation is foolishness. Because without you asking, He has given so many things to you. If you start asking something from God, you will be at loss. Suppose, for example, you go to God and God says, you pray to Him and God appears and says, asks what you want. Then you go on telling, I want this, I want this, I want this. God says, please, I may forget some of the things. So you give it in writing. So you take a paper and start writing. Make a big list. God, I want this. God says, oh, okay, 108 items. You want these things. Anything else? Give the list back. I want to add some more. So you take the list back and he added. And went on writing because I'm going to give one chance only, God told. You just give me the list, I'll fulfill whatever you ask. Then he went on, made a huge list. God went through, it was 1,108 items. 1,008 items. Yeah, just see. God told anything else? Oh, nothing else. I just want only these things, that's all. And God told, Tatastu, let it be done. Then what happened? He died on the spot. Why? Because in the list of all the items which he had mentioned, he had written good wife, a bungalow, car, that, eatable things, everything he has written, whatever he could think of. One thing he missed it out. It was air, oxygen. Died. So, don't try to fool God by asking something from Him. Because He has given you so many things without you asking. If you have a talk with Him and He says, I want only this, He only gives that and takes away whatever He has given without you asking, then you are gone. Have you ever thought He has given you a kidney? Have you ever thought He has given you a liver? And we complain, oh God, what are you doing? You gave us corona. He has given you kidney, so many things He has given you already. And we foolishly complained about Him. Now, some people say, I accept God. I'll do my duty, that's all. So this duty is also foolishness. I do my one agarbatti in the morning, one agarbatti in the God, that's all. No. You don't have to accept God because He's great out of fear. You don't have to accept God out of expectation because He's going to give so many things to you. Neither you have to accept God just because you have to do your duty. Beyond fear, expectation and duty, there's one thing for which you have to accept God and nobody can give you. Only God can give you that one thing. And what is that one thing? Everybody is hankering for. Without that, you may think of even committing suicide. We are all searching for that one thing. What is that one thing we are searching for? Without which we cannot live. And when we lose the hope of getting that one thing, we think, what is the use of life? Let me commit suicide. And this one thing can only be given by God. What is that one thing? Some people say it is peace. You sleep, you will get peace. Some people say happiness. Oh, you eat a rasgulla, you will be happy. You joke with your friends, you'll be happy. But there's one thing which only God can give and nobody else can give. What is that? It is love. Love, prema. If at all there is anybody in this world who can fill your heart which is longing for love, that person is God. And we have to accept God in our life just to fill our heart which is longing for love. That's all. There is no other reason for accepting God in our life. That is to get His love and nothing else. You don't have to accept God out of fear. There are so many people who are doing so many sinful activities, but still they are getting air, water, food, everything. Without you asking, also God is giving something. You don't have to ask something for him to give. Like for example, if you go and tell your small boy, 3 or 4-year-old boy, Mommy, please give me today's dinner. Will you give? And mother will become upset. Huh? She's given you, so she's given you birth, and you are going asking, please give my dinner today. But what she wants is love. In the same way, what God wants is love. And He's the only person who can fill your heart which is longing for love. When a young boy falls in love with a young girl and she gets married to somebody else, he thinks of committing suicide. That means if the boy lost the faith that he's going to get love in his life, so he commits suicide. Love is synonymous to life. Person is willing to give up his own life for the sake of love, and that love can only be fulfilled by God, and we are all searching for that love. Right from the childhood, as soon as the baby is born, the baby loves the mother to such an extent, and he sees that nobody else he doesn't want. Even father also comes near, he says, who else comes? Starts crying. 1 second the baby is not able to see the mother, starts crying. So much of love. And the baby starts growing up. Then he sees the mother is there every day shouting and yelling at me. The father is so nice. He brings some gift to me every day evening. And he starts loving his father gradually. One day the calling bell presses and the door opens. The father sees, oh my dear boy, you opened. And he embraces him. Then the mother thinks, there was one day he was not even going near him. He used to be afraid. Now he's waiting for his father to come every day home. Now from mother's son, he became father's son. As the time went by, he became 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. Every day is just father, just waiting for the father to come home. He goes out with his father on a scooter, on a cycle, and so happy. One day, father comes home and door opens. He sees his wife opening the door. He says, Mera beta kahan hai? Then she says, I'll take you, show you. So this father, she takes the father and then opens the window. And from the 4th floor building, she shows, see, your beta is playing cricket. Then the father says, Beta, देखो तुम्हारे लिए क्या लाया हूँ. Then the beta says, बाद में आता हूँ, रखो बैटिंग करके आता हूँ. There's a shock. The mother says, I also had the same shock. Now he has become his friend's friend. Now his love shifted from mother to father. He still has some love, but not that kind of love when he was a baby. And now he still loves his father, but not that kind of love which he had when he was 3 or 4 years old. Now his love is towards his friends. Whole life is friends. As the time goes by, he's 10, 12 years old. Now he comes home, he plays with his friends, comes home and talks to his friends only. One day, he was 14 years old, nice, wonderful, ghee ka chapati, sabji, puri, and all these things she made. Mother keeps a plate. I says, no, I don't want to eat. What he likes to eat? That roadside gutter top Chinese made by this Raju who had not taken bath for 6 months and is wearing a jeans which is not for a washed for a year. And he loves this Raju so much. And he eats the Chinese. Mother's food he doesn't like. Where has the love gone? There was 1 second delay of mother feeding him when he was a baby. He used to cry. He used to cry. But now, the same mother is cooking soup with so much of love, he doesn't want it. Where has that love gone? Now at some time, he's playing with his friends. One day, he doesn't come to play. One of the friends says, hey, what happened to our friend? He did not come today. The other friend said, he's not going to come anymore now. Why? Because he's got a girlfriend now. Once he got a girlfriend, he starts loving her and he forgot all his boyfriends. Even they come in front, he doesn't recognize. What happened to all the love which he had for his friends? Now somehow or other, he gets married to one girl and he loves her. And he says his parents, you stay in somebody's house. You just see from mother to father, father to love shifted from mother to father, father to friends, friends to girlfriend, girlfriend to wife, now children. He loves his child so much, he does everything to make his child study MS in America and is now very settled. He's alone, wife has died and alone in the house. Nothing to do. Evening he goes for a walk. On the way, nobody to love in his life now. Son has gone to America. Wife is not there. He is going, taking a dog for a walk. Well, he's going just like that, taking biscuits. And one dog comes, and then he gives few biscuits to the dog. And returns to his house, giving all the biscuits to the dog. He goes to sleep. He could not sleep. He came out, opened the door, and saw the dog is still there, waving the tail, the tongue out, and looking lovingly at this person. And this person, he thinks, I just gave few biscuits to the dog. So much love it has got for me. My son, I did so much for him. He doesn't even call to inquire whether I'm dead or alive. So, if at all there's anybody in this life who loves me, it is his dog. He lets the dog in. He's loving the dog now. One thing, loving tendency never changed, but the object of love changed, because nobody in this world could satisfy the loving tendency which he had. If you don't love God, you land up in loving a dog. Because love is the nature of the soul. This is one thing which nobody has to teach you. Even a tiger, a cub, loves the mother. That is how love is the nature of the soul. It is a Sanatan Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Dharma means the nature. The eternal nature of the soul is to love God. And that is the only reason for which we have to accept God in our life. That is to attain His prema. That is attain His love. So if you are to love God, you should know who is He, who I should love. Who is God? That is the subject matter for tomorrow. Today we discuss number 1, atheism and theism. History of atheism. History of the modern history of atheism. And proof of existence of God based on scientific proof. And if God is one, why there are so many religions? And ultimately, we discussed about why we have to accept God in our life. That is, to attain His love. Hare Krishna. So we stop here. Any questions from today and yesterday, you can start asking. Okay, there are few questions. Let me go through those questions first. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, if God created demons along with Brahma, then it is correct to say that His creation is imperfect. Is God imperfect? Very good question. Wonderful question. I like this question a lot. Now, if God created this world, He has created the demons also. He has created good things also and bad things also. And also He has given the instructions, this is good, this is bad. What does it mean? God loves you and He has given you the freedom. If you do this thing, this is what is the result. If you do this thing, this is what is the result. So God is perfect in spite of He creating demons. Why is He perfect? Because He has given you the freedom. He has given the freedom because love can only be there when there is freedom. Without freedom, there cannot be any love. Like if God says, this is the only thing you have to do. And you just cannot do anything else. You don't have any freedom. That is demoniac. Demoniac means that you don't give freedom to other person. God has given you the freedom. You want to be demoniac or you want to be divine. So in this way, God is perfect in His creation because He has created everything and He has given you a choice and has given you the instructions by which if you take this path, this is what is the result. If you take this path, this is what is the result. So this is how God is perfect in His creating demons also, creating all the bad things in life also. Next. No, you have to find out perfection in it. Where you find imperfection. I think it is like Swami told, science is wrong as present knowledge is less. So thinking perfection, you are still not at the level. Okay, you are answering something like that. How many senses does Jiva need to switch off to feel or see Bhagavan? Can a Jiva feel God? You don't have to switch off the senses. This is another point. The senses should be engaged in service of God to see God. You can see God when you develop love of God. To develop love of God, you have to serve. Like in today's thing, I wanted to just say something. Love and service, both of them go together. When you develop love for God, you can see God. And how to develop love of God? By serving. Loving and serving both are together. You cannot have love without service. You cannot have service without love. A small child comes and says, Mummy, बहुत भूख लगी है. Mummy embraces the son and says, oh, beta, मैं तुमसे बहुत प्रेम करती हूँ. I love you, my dear son. If you love, go to the kitchen, cook and do something, give something, make some food. Serve. So if love is there, service will be there. If service is there, love should be there. Somebody gives you some plate, hey, le, kha. You'll eat or what? No. There should be some love. You should offer, oh, please take it. Then you will need to take. So by loving service, we develop the eyes by which we can see God. So how do you serve? With the senses. So you don't have to put off your senses. Like we are all here trying to serve God using our senses. That is why one of the definitions of bhakti is Rishikayena, Rishikayisha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Rishikayena, by our senses. Rishikayisha, you serve the senses of God. That is called bhakti. Jiva is feeling God, but you do not believe that He is God. I don't know. You try to give some answer to it. Only what things happen and suspected. Dharma is duty, and religion is something which has one God and one holy book. Then why are these words interchangeably used? Very good question. Now, Dharma tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Dharma is the word of God. Like you said, duty. Dharma is duty. But the duty is also defined by God. What is the duty? What is this person's duty? Well, all are defined by God in the scriptures. That is how Dharma is duty, and religion is something which has one God and a holy book. Now, the holy book is just not a holy book. It is a holy book, of course, and it talks about the Dharma, the religion. Now, religion is of two kinds. Religion of the soul and religion of the body. And both are defined by God. Like Bhagwadgita talks about the religion of the soul. And there are so many Dharma Shastras, they talk about the duties of the bodily platform. So in this way, religion is actually Dharma. The word religion actually misinterpreted. English word religion is not actually a fit word for the word Dharma. Dharayati dharma. The very nature of the soul, that is actually dharma. Like nature of water is fluidity. Nature of fire is to give heat and light. The quality of a substance which cannot be removed from the substance, that is called dharma. Fluidity cannot be removed from water. Heat and light cannot be separated from fire. If you have separated, fire is no more fire. The same way, dharma means the nature of an object which cannot be separated from the object. So the soul's nature is to love and serve. Love and serve God, and that is dharma. It is just a general of words, but we should know the real meaning of it, that's all. Hare Krishna Swamiji. Is there a concept of hell in Sanatana Dharma? If the soul enters another body after the death of one body and this cycle goes on till moksha, how can there be hell? Yes, the soul goes from one body to another body. But in this body, a present body, if somebody has done sinful activities to such an extent that he cannot get another human body next life. He has to suffer so much that he has to go to a separate place called hell, suffer there, and again after many, many species he comes back to human life. So, like for example, if somebody has done some crime, normal crime, he'll be sent to a jail in your own city like Vapi. He has done a horrible crime, heinous crime, then be sent to Tihar jail. He has to suffer there. So, not everybody would go to hell for all the sinful activities. When the sinful activities of a person is gone to such a high grade, and they are sent to hell, and there also they get a body called Yatana Sharira, and they suffer there for the for whatever the sinful activities they have done, and then go. So whatever are there, they are described in the scriptures. There are 28 kinds of hells described in the Bhagavatam. It is there below the 14 planetary systems. Their place is also given. It is not that the hell is not there. It is there, but we should know only those who have done such heinous heinous crime, they would go there. Next. Is a concept called hell. Then there's a cycle called moksha. Of course, moksha attained. There's a process. We'll talk about the moksha when we talk about karma. Hell on earth only. He's giving. You're giving your conclusions. That is why best is to you give. Whenever you give something, you should speak from the scriptures. Pratyaksh praman is not good. Mental speculation is also not good. You should speak. Whatever you speak, you should give from evidence from the scriptures. Some people question, where was God when this person was being murdered? When the innocent woman was being physically abused? What is the answer? What is the use of his supremacy? Yeah. Now, when somebody is murdered, somebody says, where was God? Where is God? Something very strange. Why do you think of God only when somebody gets murdered? Why don't you think of God when somebody is born? When somebody is giving birth, a mother is giving birth, then at that time, why don't you say, oh God? Because you have not thought about God when good things are happening in life. That is why God is not seen when bad things are happening in your life. This is the nature of the conditioned soul. Once, there was a king who wanted to teach something to his minister. What the king used to do is, every day along with the minister used to go on top of a big palace what he had, and he used to throw pearls, jewels, precious stones, gold, silver from the top of the palace. And people used to come and then just take it and then run away. It went on for a few days, 10, 15, 20 days. And one day the king came with big stones and started throwing on stones. Then many people had come expecting that I am going to get some gold and jewelry. When stones start falling, then people look at, oh, who is throwing these stones? All these days when the gold and silver were falling from the palace, nobody thought about it. Nobody looked at who is showering. So when good things are happening in our life, when our body is functioning very nicely, when people were going on freely every day outside and everything was quite happy, people were making merry, drinking alcohol, they forgot God. When Corona came, we said, oh God, what is this? Why? God is not, why are you thinking of God? Why are you thinking God? What is God doing? Do you think it is the work of God to just come and stop somebody from doing wrong thing? Because it is karma. Karma has to be faced. And that karma can only be subjugated when we think of God at good times. Then bad times, you are prepared for it. But when the bad time came, if that time you start thinking of God, what is He doing? Is He your servant or what? You are His servant. He's only to you. He's only there to serve you. God is your master. First serve Him. Learn to serve Him. That is the nature of the soul, to love and serve. Develop that loving service attitude. And then supremacy. His supremacy is always there in the form of giving the karmic reaction. Every good thing done will get good reaction. Every bad thing done get bad reaction. In this way, Lord regains His supremacy always. Like when some tsunami happened. At the time, oh God, what were you doing? Why did you not stop the tsunami? But what were you doing in the breach? You were eating cow meat. You were eating all kinds of fishes. At that time, God is there not only for you, He is for the fishes also. God is only for the humans or what? All the fishes prayed for God. Oh fishes, these people are cutting me and eating me. Do something for them. Tsunami came. So this ideology that God is present only to protect me, only to serve me, this is wrong. God is there, He is supreme. And He wants your love. And you start loving and serving God. And for that you should know who is God. So tomorrow is the subject of trying to know who is God. Okay. Next. Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandat Pranam. As you told, depend on audience, religions are there. Then Jainism is a great religion because of restrictions and very less realizations given. As Vaishnava also can follow what Jains follow. I don't want to explain the entire philosophy of Jains. If I want to say the philosophy of the Jains is atheism, and definitely Vaishnavism is not atheism. Jainism is atheism. So I don't want to get entire detail of what is Jainism, but essentially Jainism is atheistic. Buddhism is atheism. And many Jains, they don't know what is their philosophy. Many Buddhists, they don't know what is their philosophy. As much as many so-called Vaishnavas or Hindus, they don't know their own philosophy. How many Hindus have read Bhagwadgita? How many Jains have they read their own philosophy? How many Buddhists have read their own philosophy? That is why Jainism is atheism. In the core, it is a core non-Vedic atheistic philosophy. So we did not follow that. And many Jains also don't follow that. Many Jains I meet, they'll say, आपके मंदिर में भगवान का विग्रह बहुत अच्छा है. But actually, they cannot use the word Bhagwan at all because they are atheist. Where does the soul go by if by the person action on earth are bad and he goes to hell? Tomorrow we're going to talk, a day after tomorrow we're going to talk about this thing. We're going to talk about karma. So, okay, somebody is trying to answer. Okay, so enjoy, Vaishnav is the best. Okay. Swamiji, Hare Krishna. You say that soul has to go back to Godhead in spiritual world. What the soul does there? The soul is always engaged in service to Krishna in the spiritual world. That is what the soul does in the spiritual world. So the questions are over. If you have any verbal questions, you can raise your hands. I can ask your questions. Yes. Yes. Is atheistic, not ethic, atheistic. They say Jainism is a very clear thing. I read about Jainism and also Vedanta Sutras. They talk about Jainism and it is very clear. It is the whole philosophy is based on no God. There is no concept of God at all in Jainism. It is no. They are Tirthankaras. Their Tirthankaras are the saints. They are not God. We say In no, it is individual's belief. You're talking about Jainism. Belief is different. The belief is no, 1 minute. You are you one minute, one minute. You want to talk about Jainism, then first, if you go to a Jain sadhu who knows the philosophy of Jainism and ask him about God, and the reply will be, there is no God. First is that. Like if you want to know about Vaishnavism, you speak to me. I'll talk about who is God, what is our philosophy. So if you are talking about the core philosophy of Jainism, it is atheism. Buddhism, it is atheism. Shunyavad. That's what it is. I have a question to you. Do you think I am less social than you? Yeah. I have at least 4 email IDs. I answer at least about 50 mails a day, and I've got a temple to run here, and I meet at least 15-20 people here. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so I'm just telling about my life. My life is more social than anybody else because we are here in the society. So we are here as sadhus in the temple, Hare Krishna temple, for the society. Uh, Instead of having one mother and father, and we have everybody we treat everybody elder to me as mother and father. And instead of having just one brother in the house, everybody who is like same age of me, I treat like brothers. So that's what it is. You have one. No problem. No problem. You can there are two there are 4 ashramas. There's Brahmachari ashram, there's Grihastha ashram, there's Vanaprastha ashram, and there is Sannyas ashram. You can stay in any of the ashramas and then practice Krishna conscious spiritual life. One thing is thing, all the 4 are called ashramas. Brahmachari ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha ashrama, Sannyas ashram. You can select any of these 4 and then progress in spiritual life. There's nothing wrong in that. The, yes, everybody has to have a social life. We also have. It is not that we don't have social life. No. I'm also sitting in the AC room and giving a class. I'm also using Zoom. You're also using Zoom. I'm also paying the temple electricity bills here. Do you think it will come free of cost? Government doesn't give the electricity free of cost. Now, coming back to the point, what is the common thing? The common thing is serving God. You serve God with your wife and children. Yes, that's all. That's all. Same thing, same thing. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Okay, next question. Anybody else? Okay, we stop here. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow, 8:15 sharp. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.